Here we go. We're in. We're live. Good afternoon, Connie.
Good afternoon. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm so good. Do you know, it's so funny. The first time I met you, kind of June last year, I think it was, and being trained by you over those 2 days. And so now I'll be sat on a late Friday afternoon getting to share this time with you. I'm incredibly lucky. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your time. Thank you, Connie.
Well, I'm honored that you're even taking the time to do this. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, a part of the interview in the great series is all around this idea of how do we take phenomenal stories and share them and hopefully inspire just one, even if it's one extra person throughout our time, and that's what it's here for. So, without any further ado, please, Connie, introduce yourself. Who is Connie, and how would you kind of describe yourself in an introduction?
So, Connie Arentson, and my role today professionally, I oversee facilitation for our IT Nation Evolve peer groups. That's my main responsibility and priority. I also get to facilitate a couple of owner groups and a couple of service groups, and I love my role that I'm doing right now. I think it takes the strengths that I have and uses them to a higher synergy and ability than other roles that I've played in the past. And personally, I'm married, been married for, I'm just going to say a lot of years. And my husband, best friend, and we have six grandkids, three grown boys. Three of the three boys, two of them have three kids each. So,
Christmas
love
is
being a
busy then.
grandparent. Yeah. Yep.
Christmas is busy.
Yes.
That's a big dining room table to fill all those feed all those mouths, though.
That's right. Yep. So,
I kind of get it. I'm one of five, so I'm the youngest of five boys. So I kind of understand the chaos that can ensue at these busy family gatherings, busy
yeah. And I'm
times.
with you. I grew up with four sisters. So I came from a family of five siblings.
Are
Yeah.
you the youngest as well? Are you
I am
middle? Where do
number
you?
four in the lineup.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I
we were
get you.
all born within 5 years. So we were all close together. My poor mother.
Busy. It's a
Yeah.
busy childhood, busy house. It's incredible. So
Yep.
I want to pick up on a few bits. I will get to peer groups in a second. I know the benefit of the evolved peer groups in the IT Nation community. Because I'm within it and I've experienced it, but also because I facilitate it. So or facilitate one of the groups. I will get to that. But what I want to go back to, Connie, is the whole point of this channel is to take stories and understand how did you become who you are today? Like what were the stumbling blocks, the highs, the lows along the way, and sharing that back. And one of the things I want to start with, we're not going to give away ages, right? We've already had that discussion. But if we go back to Connie a few years ago, how did you know you wanted to go down this kind of facilitation, this kind of peer group leading path? How did you know that was something you wanted to do?
Well, interestingly enough, when the peer groups, they were a part of the business unit when I was in the MSP that I was in. And when the peer groups were sold off near the end of 2012, I went with the MSP. So we basically separated. And I came back to the peer groups in 2016. Up to that point, I had been a member at the table, much like the people that are in your peer groups, and was
Yeah.
learning from peers, sharing best practices, doing all those things. When I came back in 2016, they asked me if I wanted to facilitate. So I stepped right into that. And honestly, I followed at the time one of our best facilitators, strongest facilitators, Brad Scow, and I was scared to death because I had huge shoes to fill, but
Yeah.
managed beyond that. And they asked me to, at that point, if I'd be interested in going to master facilitation training. And I said, I'll give it a go. And here I
Let's see
am
how we get on.
today. And what I found out was the whole facilitation training, it happened to use all of my strengths for the most part. So everything that I do is energy giving instead of, taking the life out of you. And I think that's one reason I love facilitation, because it is so rewarding. And you know that, Alex, from facilitating yourself, because you get to see members change and grow. And you see those aha moments when they realize that they need to make a change, and then it ends up making a huge difference. And so just that growth that you see from people. And yeah, it comes back to I love what I do because what I do makes a difference, and it makes a difference for others, and you're serving all the time, but it doesn't feel like that because of the outcomes that you see.
The way I remember the first time I ever delivered a piece of training to a group of people, and I opened with the sentence, "Our minds are like gardens, and the words we speak are like seeds, and our thoughts are the water that help those seeds grow."
I love that.
I don't know who said it. I'm sure there's been many variations of that through over the years, but for me, I got into training, just to echo what you're saying here, Connie. I got into training because I started to ask the question, who would Alex be if I had met me 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't know about the listeners, and I don't know about you, and maybe we can get into that. 24, 25 for me was a really lonely, scary time, because it's like I've come out of school, I've adjusted, come out of college, I've adjusted. What do I do now? I'm making money. I've got a car. I've got a house. I got this stuff, right? What do I do? There must be more than just this consumption thing. So I needed mentorship. I needed guiding. And everywhere I looked, everyone seemed to go, "Oh, that good luck. You'll figure it out." And now I've realized that they're just as lost as I was, and they're 10, 15 years older. So for me now, going into training, it's about planting those seeds of belief in people of like, if you just scratch that itch and go after this thing, you'll figure out so much about yourself. And that's personally why I got involved in Evolve, is because, no play on words there intended. It's because it's incredible, like you've just said. You watch those epiphanies in the room. You watch those
Mhm.
light bulb moments constantly of like, I get it now, and it's incredible. And so I want to understand something. Connie at 25, how did you know where to go? Like, did you have a struggle navigating career? Did you have like an epiphany moment yourself, or was this all kind of like flowed?
It was a path that I'm going to say an unplanned path. How about if we go that route? So
Yeah.
I grew up on a dairy and a beef farm. We milked cows. We had a beef herd. So a lot of hay baling, a lot of early morning milkings, that kind of thing. So I was used to a long work day. So work ethic was never a problem or ambition, because that's just how I grew up. You learn to just go out and work hard.
Roll your
When
sleeves
I
up and get
was
on.
Yeah, and when I was 25, at that point, my husband was working through his career, and we jumped. I think we made 8 moves in about 10 years, maybe 12 years, and just following his career. So I would find niches where I would find work for the amount of time that we were in a particular town. And I graduated from college with actually an agriculture teaching degree and a dairy science degree, which is obviously skills were transferable from the agriculture teaching side into what I'm doing today. But um, every job I had was almost accounting related or inventory operational. And then when I got to HTS at the time, working under Sorensen, he was an amazing mentor. Whether he meant to be a mentor or not, he was. And
So
um,
can we pause here for like 1 second? Because this is, I think, the 6th interview I've conducted now, and the same point has just been made. I think salient for all of them, which is the crucial word of mentor. In comes the guide, right, to our hero's journey and all of this storytelling stuff. Could we just talk for a second about the significance of Arlen coming in as a mentor, and like how did that kind of shape and shift where you were going and who Connie is or was?
so if you've ever talked to Arlen, you know that when he's talking to you, he's talking to you. He's not looking at other things that are distractions. He focuses purely on you, and you feel the value from him as a person because of that. So I think that, plus he was always ready to help you find the next turn. And whether it was him suggesting it or you suggesting it, he was always open to helping you grow. And from a career standpoint, I don't know that I necessarily thought I'd be where I'm at today, but I know I wouldn't be where I'm at today without his mentorship along the way. I remember the first time that he was handing over some of his direct reports to me, and we were in his office getting ready for one-on-ones and reviews, and just that conversation leading up to what to expect and, how to handle yourself as a leader in that situation, and making sure that whoever it was that was coming in for this review or one-on-one was comfortable, all those little pieces. And I look back today and, it was all about showing the value to that other person and treating them right. And Arlen was a master at, and other than he was just injured recently, so he's not been able to do it, but he was a master at walk around management. And we have an interesting office here where I work, and it's not necessarily easy to get from one point to the other with the layout, but he made a point of every day walking through the building and greeting people and making sure that they were noticed each and every day. And that walk around management, you knew he was going to be coming at some point. So if you had questions, you were just ready for him when he got there, and he always took time. And I think that the way he listened, that was a huge teaching moment. Because if you're at all familiar with the Make a Difference personalities and the lion, turtle, monkey, camel, I come out as a lion in that. And it's mission, and it's control, and it's getting things done, and it's goals, and all those pieces. So I don't think I was a great listener when I was younger, but I've learned to cultivate that and be a better listener. And I think largely because I saw how important it was to him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna build on this point, because I think when the pivotal point for me in sales was when I shifted the conversation away from like, how can I quickly close this conversation, to how can I listen better?
Mm-hmm.
Then what it started to do was, okay, well, what questions does somebody want to be asked? Because the minute I shifted from like, it's such a transition, because if you think about what Arlen was doing, as he was putting you as the most important person in the conversation. And the minute somebody does that, it's like, oh, I've got a voice. Oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
what do I think about something? And then this is the crucial bit that I think a lot of, let's just go sales, because this is a sales channel for a second, right? I think where a lot of people in sales and in general actually go wrong is they hear something and they think they need to answer. Whereas 9 times out of 10, someone needs depth. They need to understand, well, what's actually going on underneath that. And the pyramid or the iceberg theory is probably one of the best of like this. The 10% that I've just shared with you, if you latch on to that, you're going to miss a significant amount that's underneath the surface. The 90% that's sitting underneath the surface, you're going to miss. And the saying I love the most for this, which is listen to understand, never answer.
Yeah.
Have this intentional question of like, I'm actually curious about that. Not by saying I'm curious. I'm gonna ask really, really good questions so that we can both understand this together. It's incredible. And so having that mentorship, thinking back at it now, what was some of like the key takeaways for you that if you were going into that role again before you met Arlen, what would you wish someone had told you going into that role if you reflect back to it?
What would I wish? Oh my. Listen first and make judgments later. Take time to reflect on all the things that you've learned before making a decision. And it doesn't mean the decision has to be delayed, but take a look at all the information you have and make a decision, and don't make it too hasty. When you're in conversations, and this I probably pulled more from Crucial Conversations and Radical Candor, but go into conversations with facts and truth. And if you can keep emotion out of it, you can go so much deeper with people. And those were things that he was just good at. And bring passion to whatever it is you're doing. Passion and energy can change even the most boring of topics into something interesting because you've got some energy and some passion behind it. So you can energize people, you can energize topics, and you can bring credibility yourself just because you've got energy. And don't be afraid to share experiences, because typically you've learned as much from those experiences as other people will learn from you sharing them. So those are probably a few of the things.
It reminds me back to my Amazon Web Services days, because when you say about come armed with facts and keep emotion out of it, Amazon had this thing called weasel words, and that's when people said things like, "I've seen significant growth," uh, things to that effect of like, I've seen this." I feel that, like, they have these words that kind of describe something big with nothing to back it up. And the biggest thing I kind of took away from the time at Amazon is never use the word they. You know, when often someone will say they say, or
Yeah.
well, who said it? What are you
Who's owning
reading?
it? Yeah.
Who owns this kind of idea? Who owns what you're saying? And this idea that, like, I just got this opinion of something because I heard it on TikTok, or I heard it on Instagram, I heard it wherever. Like, have you got any data, anything to actually back up what you're saying, or is this just all high in the pie theory? And it thinks back to actually when I look at how I teach preparation for sales, and we look at what are the top 3 trends in your industry, what are the top 3 things going on in your customers' world right now, and be really clued up there. And the word you said, Connie, was so good, of credibility. It brings so much credibility
Mhm.
when you bring actually occurring instances into a conversation. I've seen this, it's having this impact, it's probably affecting you in that way. How close am I? Have I got that right? And it completely kind of shifts the conversation. Anyway, back to you, because I'm conscious of your time, and I really want to ask this next question, which I think that the benefit from what we're about to hear is going to be significant. See that significant words there again,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
What the question I've got to ask is, when you think about your career now, when you're advising people, mentoring people yourself, what's kind of like the 2 or 3 things that you share now back to people, kind of words of wisdom that you share back now?
So I am currently mentoring a young gal here at Connectwise, and we're maybe 3 or 4 sessions in. And as I think back over those 3 or 4 sessions and some of the conversations that we've had, make sure that you have, first of all, bring truth to everything that you do. That would be the first thing, truth and honesty to everything you do, because it comes back to your values. And then secondly, make sure that you're having fruitful conversations with whoever it is that you report to. And by fruitful conversations, they're going to lead down as a leader, but don't be afraid to lead up if you've got sound ideas that will help move things forward in a positive way. So leading up is a skill that I think it takes a lot of people a little while to develop, because you can lead up both poorly and you can lead up in real positively. And learning to do that and hone that skill in a way that helps the organization is key. And then maybe a third thing, I'm thinking out loud here. Um, don't be, I shouldn't say don't be afraid. Be sure you collaborate. Collaborate with those around you, because you can get so much synergy from those that you're walking along beside, whether it's colleagues in your team, or other teams that you maybe have access to. Collaborate, because you can go so much further with more ideas than with just your own. Those are probably the top ones I'd talk about.
So I feel like it's a really good point to make. We both probably would always recommend The Go Giver as a book. I mean,
Mhm.
that was possibly one of the greatest books I think I've read this year, only because it summarizes in 5 points, 5 laws, 5 rules,
Yep.
really how to do what you're talking about right there. So, shameless plug. If you haven't read it, haven't bought it, The Go Giver is possibly one of the greatest books. And then there is also The Go Giver for Sales, which is basically how do you take the theories in the first book and you apply it then into a sales conversation, which is phenomenal. The
And
second
Alex, did you know
one,
there's a
though,
Go Giver for Leadership too? So that's another
oh,
good one.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
Go Giver for Leadership is another good one of that
I'm,
whole string of
I'm on it.
books.
Well, I'm on it only because the biggest reason is I'm moving away from training sales sorry, Let me say that again. I'm moving away from charging for sales training. Soon I'm trying to get to a point where the model is free. It's given away for free for everyone. And I'm moving more towards culture alignment. So it's more around actually how do we as a culture create this center of excellence? How do we actually create this environment where you want to thrive, where everybody's learning and growing together?
Mhm.
And the best thing I found for it, and Connie, when you're over in a few weeks' time, I'm going to show you this deck. It's by a company called Riders and Elephants, and it's the emotional culture deck. And I think it's one of the best gifts. I'm going to bring you a box, by the way, because
Awesome.
you brought the Go Giver to me, but it's a New Zealand company. And what it does, it gives you a deck of cards that help you really, really understand what is going on for your team and what is going on in a group of people. Husband and wives can use it, family units can use it, teams can use it. Anybody can use it to basically understand where are you at right now. And I'm going to give you one question because I love this question so much. And annoyingly, I found it straight away. Great. This one question, I love it, and this is for leaders. We've talked about leadership. It's important our people don't feel this. What a question to ask.
What
What a
restate the
question.
question? You were cutting out just a bit.
It's important our people don't feel this. And it's all premised around like, what do we not want people to feel
Oh,
when they're at work? Do you know what I mean? And then the next one is my success relies on me feeling. It's like, and there's a whole deck of it. Look, this thing.
yeah.
All of these
Oh,
cards,
yeah.
these riders and elephants. I'll bring you a box next time I see you
That's
because
awesome. That's
it's
awesome.
phenomenal. But anyway, the reason I share all of that is because the thing I was going to say, back to your point, is there's a book by Robert Greene called The 48 Rules of Power or something like that. And Law 17 is essentially help. I'm going to go back. Have a vision for where you want to go, and then find somebody or people that are already doing that, and say to them, how do I help you look good? How do I help you get better? How do I take that strain away from you to give you more time to go and do what you want to go and do? And the reason I bring this point up, thinking back to what you've just said around like kind of like have values, align to people, collaborate, I think about that and I think, when you help someone get to the next level of their career, who are they going to take with them? They're going to take you up with them because you've been such
Yeah.
an ally for the last 12, 18 months or weeks or whatever. Why would they not take you with them? So if you've got a clear vision of where you're trying to go and you find somebody who's already there and you say, how do I help you get to where you're trying to go? It's the best thing I think we can do, especially when you're young in career.
Yeah.
Young, or lower in tenure. I think that's the best thing we can do.
Yeah. I
Right,
agree.
I just waffled at you for like 2 minutes straight, so I appreciate you listening.
All good stuff, though. All good stuff.
Connie, let's I'm very, very conscious and respectful of your time. Being Friday afternoon, I'm sure you want to finish it. How would you, in terms of summarizing the key takeaways for career for you and summarizing kind of like why you've become the person you become and why you became a master facilitator, how would you summarize these points kind of like in a sentence or two? What would you say is the biggest takeaway from you from this call so far?
So, one thing I've learned in my career is you got to love what you do. It shouldn't be like coming to work every day. It should be something that you look forward to and that you're happy to get out of bed. So, first of all, love what you do and work hard to respect and play well and have fun while working hard with those around you because it will fill your work day with just reward and fun and you're moving people forward if you love what you do and it shows as you work with people. So
Connie, 24 minutes. I've enjoyed every second of your time, and thank you for sharing infinite wisdom with us today. This is
thank you,
the
Alex.
Interviewing the Greats podcast. It's a pleasure. I'm so excited to see you. I don't know if I'm coming to Ireland, but I'll definitely see you in London in a few weeks' time, and safe
I
journey
am.
over.
So I'll see you in both
Connie,
places.
well, funny enough, I'm going to meet Brad Scow, I think on the 5th of September. So I'm going to fly over anyway. So if you'll be at the user group in Dublin, right?
Yep. Yep.
Perfect. Connie, thank you a million times over, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for your time.
See you, Alex. Thank you.